Hello again, this is Ray from Ray's Garage. We're here on a cold, rainy March afternoon. I was supposed to take my grandson to a hare scramble, but it got canceled because of the rain. So I'm in the garage again, and today I'm working on the KTM 690 SMC-R. Now, this is a 2023 model, but I believe it goes way back as far as these grab handles are concerned. They come from the dealer. Sometimes they're mounted, sometimes they just come in a box with your goodie bag, and in this case they just came in a box, so I have to mount them myself. So after doing a little bit of reading, I come to find that the pre-marked holes on the bottom side of the plastic where you should drill are very much off center, as much as 5 millimeters in some cases. So I'm going to briefly describe how I did it to get the most accurate measurement possible. Here we have the gas tank, and as you can see, the two mounting holes. It's as simple as that. You just have to drill the plastics, and the grab handles will fit right into the 18 millimeter hole that you drill into your plastic. The trick is getting dead center, and no matter how you do it, it's kind of a guess. So what I did was I got a screw the similar size as those holes. I cut it down to about an inch, and then I ground the tip of the screw to a point. This is what I ended up with. Okay, same size threaded screw. As you can tell, there's a little point on the end that I ground down, and I went a little bit extra further, and I put a little tiny black paint on the tip of it before I reinstalled the plastics. But the idea is to have that point sticking up, reinsert the plastics, push down on the plastics, and you'll notice it'll make they have to be perfectly lined up, of course, and it'll make a little indent in the plastic, and you could use that as a reference for your drill. As you can see here, this, I believe, is the exhaust side plastics, and I outlined the imprint on the bottom of the fender that has a cross hatch in it, and you're supposed to drill right in the middle. Well, after I put that bolt in with the point on it, I reinstalled the plastic and I pushed down, and it turned out that my hole was over at least 3 millimeters from center. That's a big deal. If you don't want a sloppy job and you want it to be dead on, this is the best thing to do. Now, to get the plastics off, it's pretty easy. First, you would take off the gas tank cover plastic, which is only two screws, and it has a little collar in it so that the tail piece or the gas tank cover just snaps onto it. And of course, there's a tab in the back right here where you line that up with a little tab that's on the tailpiece cover, and it goes right into place. Once you have that into place and you have your pointy screw in these holes, simply press down. That's all you have to do, and it'll make an indent perfectly. Here's the bottom side of the gas tank cover. As you can see, it seems to favor the outside of the imprinted mark on the fender. And it might not sound like or look like such a big deal, but believe me, 2 centimeters or 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters off center is really going to screw you up. So this is where I ended up. That's the one side. Here's the other side. So on this, I pre-drilled with a wood bit with a point on the end to get a nice clean start. It's only about I don't know, less than 1/4 inch drill bit, but that will get me set up so that I can use this 11/16, which is roughly 18 millimeters, maybe a hair bigger, hair smaller, I don't know. But I did a test in a piece of wood and the grab handles fit in perfectly. So this is what I'm going to use, and let's give it a try. By the way, this is the left-hand side cover, and as you can see, that's way off center. I started with a tiny pilot bit. I'll work my way up to a 1/4 inch bit, and then I'll use the full 18 millimeter bit to make that a clean hole. After drilling the pilot hole, I put a piece of painter's tape on the outside part of the plastic. I will drill from the inside out. As you can see, my pilot hole, barely. There you go. See how far off center it is? I still have to enlarge that to a 1/4 inch before I take my paddle bit to it, but the tape on the front side of the panel will really help when the bit comes through. It'll keep the plastic from splintering, so to speak, or just a rough edge, because I tried it on another piece, and when I took the tape off, it just took off any excess. I didn't have to use sandpaper or ream it or anything, so that's what we're going to do. It's also a good idea to put your plastics on a workbench over a block of wood. It'll help you from slipping or drilling sideways, whatever. And when the bit comes through, it's not going to ruin anything or go through your leg. So we're going to give it a try. Okay, there's one of the few pilot holes that I drew or drilled. This being about a 1/4 inch, and as you can see, looks a little bit shabby on the outside, but when you take off the tape, it's a beautiful hole, no burrs, no nothing. So that's what I'm going to do with the big paddle bit, as I've been saying. So just be patient, and I'll have this all done in a second. As it turned out, that paddle bit really grabbed the plastic, and I'd say that circle is a little bit less than perfect. But with the grab rail installed, you can't see the imperfections in that circle. It fits in there snugly the way it should be, and I think I'm good to go. So I'm going to drill the remainder of the holes, which is a total of 4, and this is the first one. The second hole, as you can see, came out perfect. I just held onto the bit and carefully pushed it through without just jamming it into the hole. So I got 2 more to drill in the gas tank cover. Almost there. Okay, here we go with the plastics on. Looks like all of our holes line up perfectly. All 4. Now let's see how easy the grab handles go on. You basically just push them through the holes, and then there's a long, I guess it's a 45 millimeter long M6. It comes with the parts kit. No washers or anything like that. I'm going to throw a little Loctite on the bolts and push the grab handles into place, and we'll see how she looks. One more thing I forgot to mention, and probably should have mentioned it in the beginning of the video, but in order to get the gas tank cover off, of course, there's 2 bolts up here, but they don't bolt the plastic down. They just have collars onto it, and the plastic slips onto them. The main thing that holds this tailpiece on is underneath the tail. You'll see a hole right up in there. I can't even, but you see what I mean. And that's just a typical 8mm Allen bolt, and I'm gonna put that in now before I put the grab handles in, because I know that I'll forget it. So give me a second and we'll show you the grab rails installed. Okay, here we have it. Plastic's back on all the way around. Grab rails installed, and I have to admit it was a little fidgety. As precisely as I drilled those holes, since the plastic is kind of curved, if you don't drill the same contour as the curve, it might be off a fraction. But luckily the plastic is flexible. I was able to just wiggle them in. If I did it again, I would use a 19mm bit, paddle bit. That way it would give me, you know, a millimeter of play on each side. But I'm happy, and of course the final step, as in all my jobs, is to clean up the little fingerprints and get her all shiny. Also, as you can tell, I have a pancake bag that I was telling you about earlier, and there's really no good place to mount, you know, the forward holding straps. These straps make it easy to just unsnap, flip the bag up forward, and you can fill up your gas tank real easy. I didn't know where to put these things. I mean, I'm not putting them down across the number plate or whatever. So inside, under the seat, there's a couple screws that I was able to put a fitting on, something like that. These are actually tie downs for the front fork bottom triple clamps. I had a few left over, so I put one under each screw, loop my tie around it, and it looks pretty sweet. Hold on a second, let me clean it up and I'll show you the final job. There you go, seat installed. I don't really think they're that pretty, but it gives my bike more function. As you can see, I got other toys in the garage, so the easier I can move these babies around, the better. I also got a stationary wheel tire cleaner, which is great when you don't feel like putting a bike on the lift. You just roll it onto that. And now that I have grab handles on here, it's pretty simple. I don't even have to roll the bike onto it. I just lift it and push it over. But let's give a quick look at how the bike looks with the pancake bag, and we'll wrap it up. There we go. Now, I don't know if I said it earlier, but before I had the grab rails on, my bag kind of sat on an angle. It looked pretty stupid. But with the back edge of the handles touching the bag, I got it pulled up on the handles a little bit. It levels it off, makes it look good. And of course, there's my hidden straps under the seat. And if I ever have to get gas, I just do this one and that one, and this whole thing just lifts right up. And I don't care what anybody says, but I am leaving the passenger pegs on. I probably will never carry a passenger on this bike, but to me it adds this extra protection. It could very well protect these plastics, my swing arm, who knows, maybe even the motor case, but I'm leaving them on. They sell these. These are KTM parts. They're called foot peg scrapers. Okay, they're available for about $11.95 for a set of them. And basically, all you do is knock the pin out of your foot peg, push this in. There's a hole in it, and when you go down, you're not ruining this whole plastic thing or your foot peg or I mean this metal piece right here. All the weight's going to be distributed right to there. I think it's a great idea for $11.95. Cool beans. I'll do it again. As you can see, I also have them on my 890. Now again, I don't usually take passengers on my 890, but I'm leaving these up here. I mean, this is a very expensive muffler system. If it gives me just a little bit more protection, I'm cool with that. The weight isn't going to kill me. So, thanks again for tuning in to Ray's Garage. If you like this kind of content, hit subscribe. I'm really considered a YouTuber at this time. I have very little videos, but I'm constantly working on bikes, so I figured I might as well record some of this stuff and help the people that might be having difficulty. I typically work on KTMs, Husqvarnas, Hondas, and an occasional sport bike or something like that. But when I run into problems and I can't find things on the internet, how to fix them, I'll attempt it myself and I'll video it. I believe my last video was installing LED turn signals on a Honda XR650. Sounds easy enough, right? Well, yeah, you go ahead and try it without using the diode kit and using the correct blinkers and everything. It's almost impossible until you watch my video. So thanks anyway, and thanks anyway. I hope to see you soon, and forgive my unprofessional filming, but like I said, I'm a YouTuber, not a YouTuber. Hope to see you soon.